I got nothing to say, apart from there's going to be a whole lot of hurt and pain in it.
I don't know about chewing up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake...
No, I'm not worried about what Tyson Fury's got to say. That's what I'm saying. It ain't even about the money. I'm betting on myself. Yeah. I'm focusing on myself.
Tyson Fury's unexpected entrance at the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua press conference instantly transformed the atmosphere from tense curiosity to outright chaos. The moment he took the microphone, Fury unleashed a blistering verbal strike aimed directly at Anthony.
Apart from there's going to be a whole lot of hurt and pain in this fight, you watch. That's all I got to say. Talking's been done.
Joshua. His warning wasn't casual, playful, or even strategic. It was brutal, deliberate, and meant to rattle Joshua to the core. Fury made it crystal clear. In his eyes, AJ is walking into serious danger. His tone carried the...
I don't know about chewing up. I think Jake Paul knocks him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's a spent force, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. I like his new heavyweight look.
The confidence of a reigning king, observing two challengers on his battlefield, and he wanted Joshua to feel every ounce of that pressure. Fury didn't mince words. He claimed Jake Paul had a real chance, an almost shocking one, of knocking out Anthony Joshua, coming from any ordinary boxing person.
About what Tyson Fury's got to say, or I'm not here for any of that betting and nonsense. I'm here to fight, and that's all it is. Once I get the job done, I'm gonna collect my check, cash it, and I'm gonna focus on the next one.
Personality, fans might dismiss such a claim as hype, but coming from Tyson Fury, a man who conquered Vladimir Klitschko, dethroned Deontay Wilder, and dominated the heavyweight landscape for years, the statement hit like a psychological weapon. Fury attacked Joshua's credibility, calling him a spent force. While
definitely a bit chinny. He's durable, he gets back up, he knows how to fight when he's hurt, and he's still dangerous when he's hurt. He's dropped people, he wobbled Dubois when he had been dropped multiple times, so he's very tough. He's very, very, very tough. But I do see holes where I can land big shots.
Praising Jake Paul's new heavyweight frame, his conditioning, and his aggression. His words weren't simply predictions, they were needles crafted to plant doubt directly into Joshua's mind. AJ attempted to brush it off. On the surface, he shrugged, smirked, and tried to appear unfazed.
It's a very dangerous night's work, and AJ will be, people say, oh, will he take it easy? AJ will be AJ. He don't mess around, he don't play with his food. He'll be going in there looking to take him out.
But beneath the calm veneer, tension simmered. Fury inserting himself into the narrative immediately shifted the dynamic. Joshua's responses sounded more cautious than confident. His body language was tight, controlled, almost rehearsed. He wanted to stand firm, but it was impossible to ignore
the Jake Paul in our world. So there'll be more of a judgment on Anthony Joshua than there will be on Jake Paul, because Anthony Joshua is expected to get this boy blasted out there.
Psychological storm Fury was creating. The message was unmistakable. Tyson Fury's endorsement of Jake Paul wasn't just hype. It was a direct shot at Joshua's reputation, pride, and mental stability. Jake Paul, sensing an opportunity, stepped forward with his own surge of confidence.
This is a one-round job, because AJ, even though he's past his best, even though he's seen better days, he throws a nice 1-2 down the middle. He's got a nice bit of distance, and fake Paul can't fight. He just can't. I don't care what anybody tells me. He can't fucking fight. He lost to Tommy Fury, for crying out.
He didn't appear intimidated by Joshua or overwhelmed by the moment. Instead, he leaned into the tension with calculated poise. Paul acknowledged Joshua's toughness, strength, and accomplishments, but he made it clear he wasn't there to admire AJ, he was there to dissect him. Paul analyzed...
I'm not sure really, Jake Paul's a cruiserweight, isn't he? Not even that. He won't be anywhere near.
Joshua's weaknesses like a surgeon, predictable rhythms, exploitable defensive lapses, and moments of hesitation that elite fighters had punished before. Fury's warning didn't just energize Paul, it gave him a blueprint for how to approach the fight. His confidence didn't come off as childish arrogance. It felt strategic, measured, and focused.
Jake Paul. That's all I can say. We saw that what Anthony Joshua had done to Francis Ngannou. He went out there and iced him in a couple of rounds. A guy coming from a different discipline. Well, this kid's coming from another level. You know, white collar boxing in 2018, gone through the mill, and the only boxer really that he's actually boxed, a legitimate boxer, he got beat by, and that was in Tommy Fury.
Hearn, watching the psychological warfare unfold, laid the stakes bare. He explained that while Joshua does not play with opponents, this matchup is unique. Fury backing Paul adds layers of complexity and chaos. Hearn emphasized that every punch of this fight will carry weight, intensity, and narrative.
I mean, Anthony Joshua can go in his nightgown and beat Jake Paul. The issue is, does he hurt Jake Paul? How curated it is? I debated it with boxers, with Paul Smith.
Consequence. Fans aren't simply witnessing a bout, they're witnessing a high-risk, high-drama collision where reputations, legacies, and marketability hang in the balance. Hearn hinted that Paul's confidence combined with Fury's verbal warfare has altered the tone entirely. Neither fighter can afford even a moment of hesitation.
I completely agree with Ben. I mean, that's the biggest issue with the fight. You know, let's be fair. Jake Paul is an area level fighter, British area level fighter. That's where he's at as a cruiserweight. He's stepping in against a very big heavyweight who's a massive puncher. Just go back to the second fight with Alexander Usyk. Look how great Alexander Usyk has become. And you go back and look at some of the highlights of Joshua's attacks on Usyk and gave him a really...
Johnny Nelson offered one of the clearest breakdowns of the fight's psychology. He pointed out that while AJ's size and physical dominance are undeniable, those strengths come with crushing expectations. Joshua is expected to win, and win convincingly. Anything less becomes a failure in the eyes of critics. Jake Paul, meanwhile, enters with significantly less pressure. That freedom makes him dangerous. Nelson argued that the mental strain on Joshua might be heavier than the physical matchup itself. Any slip, any moment of vulnerability will draw monstrous backlash. Carl Frog delivered a far harder...
I'm not saying he can't fight, I'm not saying he's rubbish, I'm not saying he's useless, but we will see how good he is. And if I'm right in what I'm saying, he'll quit.
Verdict. He brushed aside Jake Paul's boxing resume entirely and warned fans not to be fooled by social media hype. Froch claimed that despite Joshua no longer being in his absolute prime, Paul has no realistic path to victory against a seasoned former heavyweight champion. Froch argued that Joshua's fundamentals alone are enough to dismantle Paul, reinforcing the belief that this matchup is wildly uneven. Dave Allen zeroed in on the physical mismatch. He explained,
Joshua is Anthony Joshua. You know, he's multiple-time champion, Olympic gold medalist. You know what I mean? The last time somebody stepped in the ring with him that didn't have that much boxing experience was Ngannou, and you've seen what happened to him.
That even if Paul possesses respectable skill, power, and athleticism, he simply cannot match Joshua's sheer size and physical command. Allen went as far as questioning whether Paul even qualifies as a true cruiserweight, suggesting the jump to heavyweight against someone like AJ is not just bold, it's borderline reckless. Allen pointed out that Fury's confidence in Paul might be more psychological trickery than genuine belief. Spencer Oliver echoed these concerns, emphasizing the massive gap in skill, experience, and ring IQ. He reminded fans that Joshua has demonstrated the ability to neutralize dangerous opponents early and decisively, while Paul has never faced anyone close to AJ's caliber. Oliver made it clear Paul is entering a world he has never experienced, and the margin for error is nearly non-existent.
If Anthony Joshua puts 10-ounce gloves on and gets in a boxing ring and Jake Paul is in the other corner, this won't last long. This will last as long as Josh wants it to last.
Carl Frampton reinforced these assessments, stressing Joshua's devastating precision, timing, and power. In his view, Paul is stepping into a mismatch where any mistake could end the fight within a single round. Frampton believed the fight isn't about whether AJ wins, it's about how quickly and violently he does it. Gareth A. Davies highlighted the gulf in competition that separates the two fighters. He referenced Joshua's battles against elite opponents like Alexander Usyk, explaining that Paul simply has no foundation to prepare for such a challenge. Every measurable category, experience, level of opposition, physicality, technical depth tilts heavily in Joshua's favor. Tom Little took a brutally honest approach. He acknowledged that Paul isn't useless in the ring, but insisted that stepping up to face Joshua is dangerously premature. Little described...
No, I don't back Jack Paul. That means, what is it you're doing? He has to smoke him in 3 rounds. The same way he did in Ngannou. How many rounds was in Ngannou?
2, second round.
Exactly. So he has to smoke him.
Described the matchup as a looming reality check, predicting that Paul's confidence could crumble under the immense weight of Joshua's power and experience. His warning underscored the severity of the risks Paul is taking. Benavidez added historical perspective, reminding fans that Joshua's pedigree is unmatched. Olympic gold, unified world championships, and years of fighting elite competition, this isn't a man who allows inexperience to flourish. Citing Joshua's past ability to exploit the mistakes of less seasoned fighters, he warned that Paul is approaching a trial by fire. Tony Bellew delivered one of the most blunt assessments. In his eyes, the outcome isn't up for debate. Joshua holds.
So you think this could be dangerous for Jake Paul?
Oh my goodness, without a doubt. Now the governing bodies now have got to look at this. Would they sanction this fight in any other dimension? No, they wouldn't. But unfortunately, boxing is now more business than show. And this is business. And so the sanctioning bodies aren't going to say, no, this kid doesn't deserve.
All the advantages, experience, power, ring leadership, and mental toughness. Bellew argued that while Paul's confidence is admirable, it won't matter when the first meaningful punch lands. He painted the fight as a scenario where Joshua controls every second. Derek Chisora raised the stakes even higher. He insisted that Joshua must win, and must win quickly. If the fight drags on past 3 rounds, Chisora believes momentum shifts dangerously toward Paul. He urged Joshua to unleash early destruction and leave no room for doubt or drama. Johnny Nelson returned to a broader issue, modern boxing's tendency to prioritize profit over fair matchmaking. He argued that in a stricter era, a fight with this level of mismatch might never be sanctioned. The spectacle, he warned, can overshadow the obvious physical risks Paul faces. As the buildup reaches its boiling point, the narrative becomes clear. This isn't merely a boxing match. It's a collision between hype and legacy, between inexperience and championship pedigree. Anthony Joshua stands as the seasoned titan and Olympian, a former unified heavyweight champion, a man who has faced the best of an era. Jake Paul stands as the bold newcomer, armed with confidence, strategy, and a massive following. The fight promises drama, danger, and unpredictability. And as Tyson Fury said at that press conference, the world is watching to see whether Jake Paul shocks the world or whether Anthony Joshua delivers the brutal reminder of what elite heavyweight boxing truly looks like.